This video is meant to document stuff, and we do not have much professional equipment.
Rain World is a game that at this point needs no introduction. If you do not know anything about it whatsoever, it's a difficult survivor exploration game in which you play as a little creature lost in the ecosystem. I highly recommend checking it out, especially when you are a part of the alterhuman community yourself. If you're on the other side of the internet though, alterhuman is a label for anyone who is not human, beyond human, in any way. It is a bit to take in, especially for someone who doesn't know anything about it, but for some information I put some text on the screen. You may know the word Therian, for example, aka identifying as an animal. Being one is indeed alterhuman. Actually, there's many labels of all kinds of stuff. The only limit is your imagination. Feel free to ask me about it if you have any questions. You can call me Signal or Falcon. I identify as a non-human, specifically a bird, a slugcat and a dragon, and I've been this way ever since I remember. Rain World is a game I instantly fell in love with, and I always wondered if there's anyone out there like me. Over time, I've actually gathered a bunch of creatures, most of them being slugcats like me, which I really love. If not my packmates, this project wouldn't have been possible. Today, I will be going through submissions from those Rain World alterhumans about the connection between their identity and the game. Also, huge thanks to Emerald for agreeing to read her part out loud. Be aware though that this video will contain Rain World spoilers, most specifically from the base game and its ending. Without further ado, let's have a watch. The game carries a large theme about alterhumanity as a whole, about the struggle of finding peace in a toxic environment that demands every creature to find their place in the food chain. Rain World puts you in a world as a slugcat, a creature at the bottom of the food chain, a creature that at first glance is nothing more than a simple prey, a creature which doesn't follow the way of life the world imposes. An endless cycle of living, finding your fate to a predator, and then doing it all over and over again. You're forced into the perspective of an animal on a journey to escape from this vicious cycle and find peace, to be free of the laws of the environment that have defined your existence for a long time. You're painted as a small thing, a pitiful creature in comparison to the predators around you. You're small, weak, alone, unable to rely on your own body to defend yourself. In contrast, every predator you encounter is large, strong, a natural hunter, and has grown and adapted unlike you. You're trapped in a world you don't belong in, and you want a way out. You're a creature not meant for the reality of this world, an outcast and the norms of society. The feeling of being in a world which is not your own is a common experience for alterhumans. You're a creature forced into a body that is not your own and expected to follow the norms of your toxic society that favors the ones who fit in and punishes the ones who are different. You're forced to play a role of a human and expected to act the part, regardless of whatever it is the right path for you. Rain World, especially the base game, places the player in the role of a small creature who doesn't carry the weight of self-importance, which is rather uncommon in humans who rely strongly on it. The ecosystem will move on without the player. This much is made clear from very early on. It allows the player to feel much more connected to it, as an animal within it would, whereas humanity has worked to separate itself from the natural world and the creatures within it. I find this especially prominent in the base game, where the objective is hardly clear from the start. You're just trying to survive in a harsh world. The desire to explore the world around you must somehow be intrinsic or the game becomes frustrating and tedious. The feeling of being lost in a world that once belonged to something much more beyond your comprehension is very strong and is something a lot of other humans may relate to. Otherwise, the playstyle as a small animal would resonate with a lot of other humans. Indeed, true. Every part of the world, from highly intelligent iterators to vultures who seem to know little more than vending food, slugcats are treated as animals, as a part of the food chain, as something that exists despite some intelligent beings trying to push them aside and become better than them, the way humans try to become better than animals. While this isn't entirely unique to Rainworld, it's still affirming to other humans alike. The game itself isn't for everyone, I admit. I have to take frequent breaks in order to not rage at the computer or put it down in defeat, but that's what it makes it unique. There is no other game in the world that's like Rainworld, and it would always be a special place in my heart. While I don't entirely think of Rainworld as alterhuman-centric, I do believe it has some dabbings into what it means to be the outside nature of what alterhumanity symbolizes. The food chain of Rainworld is an ever chaotic one, and what makes it more perpetually interesting is that you live as a creature at next to the bottom of it, a meager prey animal. Taking on the role of a slugcat puts you at the risk of being eaten by a lot of what the world has to offer. Where humanity would be the outside of the prospects of the food chain, you don't play something that is human in the game. You play as an animal, a prey animal, both predator and prey, but you do so anyway. How is it alterhuman, one may ask? It is for the reason that you play as an animal, I believe. That makes Rainworld as immersive as it is for other humans. As a trans woman who is a slugcat Therian, my first experiences with Rainworld were, dare I say, magical, overworldly non-human, and something about it felt gratifying, it felt immersive. It spoke to me in a way that made everything I was doing feel like I was the one in a situation where I was lost, where I was a little creature out in a cruel world. Every death felt scary, learning to survive felt scary, and over time, overcoming the obstacles, learning the secrets, understanding the nature of things as they are, it all started to become more and more eye-opening as I continued to journey. And in the end, sending myself into the depths of the void sea scared me. It horrified me, having to submit myself to something I didn't understand, the looming, festering chaos of nothingness. It felt scary. It felt heavy. Then the worm whisked me away before I could know what happened. And the ride, it was painful. The pain of it was immense. Then it all stopped. Then I was left behind, scared, unknowing what lies beyond the veil. And emotions started to well up inside me as I saw others like me swimming alongside me, and I felt free. I felt like it was time to go. I wanted to cry more, but my tears melted into the void and mixed furthermore, as me and the rest gave way to the deep light. We went through and we looked beyond the veil to find a rest, family, the true desire of any slugcat. Peace.
Hey, get this gameplay out of here. This is my gameplay now. You're gonna watch me cut phantom wood in Lumber Tycoon 2 by hand for the rest of my reading. Alright, sit tight, because I got a lot to read. Why do you think Rainworld is alterhuman-centric? Well, I don't know, I just got here. Okay, yeah, in all seriousness, I don't necessarily think it's alterhuman-centric, but the way the game throws you into the environment seems to kind of connect me, the player, to the slugcat in a different way than just regular immersion. Playing the game for the first time, I felt lost, just like Survivor did. I didn't really know what to do except follow the little yellow overseer to Moon, and then I looked up a map. Well, yeah, I did kind of lose all the immersion by doing that, but as I got better and learned and memorized the map, I slowly felt myself relating to the slugcats too. I'm not sure necessarily what it was, but having a slugcat sona just made me feel comfortable. Like I could shed the shell of my past self and become better. I mean, I still use my old sonas in artwork and such. They'll always be a part of me, but it's a little different now. That's besides the point though. I looked through some of the other perspectives and it kinda helped me shape my understanding of what alterhumanity is for Rainworld. Playing as a helpless, lost little animal in an unfamiliar world, learning to, well, not be helpless. Kind of like how alterhumans, Therians, or otherkins have to navigate a world that generally doesn't accept them. Being pushed away by beings who see themselves as superior, the fear of being hurt by unfamiliar foes. It just makes sense to me, honestly. 3 years ago, when I first played Rainworld, gosh, it's been that long? I was a much different person than I am now. Rainworld was a completely unique experience of a game for me, and it still is now. It has an amazing story, well-written characters, completely atrocious lore, and very good gameplay once you learn to accept the unfairness of the world. Rainworld is a difficult game to learn, but it's just fun in a way that I don't know how to describe. The movement tech is fun to mess around with. The art is just fucking stellar. And it's so simple yet complex in so many ways. I think that's part of why my brain kind of fixated on being a slugcat. Which leads me to my next topic. How I found out I was the way I was. Fun fact, Rainworld is actually kind of how I found out I was trans. It's mostly the community that did it for me. Since none of the slugcats really have a defined gender, it caused people to have lots of different headcanons, which fostered an extremely queer community. I realized that not only was I very feminine, I also realized that I felt like a girl. And so I was. As for killing slugcats, through said queer community, I saw a lot more examples of diversity. I was able to see people who I originally thought were weird and, forgive my language, cringe, and realize that they weren't really all that different from me. They weren't this kind of alien group of strangers completely separate from me, but people, or rather creatures, just like me. After a while, I realized that my connection with slugcats / being a slugcat wasn't all that surface level, which eventually just kind of turned into me sometimes wanting to be a slugcat, which, well, that's how I turned out now. What am I, and how does it make me feel, and how does it affect me? I am a slugcat otherkin. I feel very connected to them. Being a slugcat feels so nice and validating, and I'm happy I've figured this part of myself out. It's honestly motivated me to want to experiment with gender and other labels like Therian or alterhuman. I even have slugcat as one of my pronouns. Please use it, 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 please use it. Unfortunately, due to being a very closeted individual, I have yet to be in a place comfortable enough to experience it and express myself to the fullest, but so far I felt super comfy being the way that I am. I love being a little slugcat girl. And I also love being anthro too. This community has done so much for me as a person. Some bad, some good, but overall, I'm happy with how it's going so far. I don't know what I'd do without this game or the people I met playing it, and I wouldn't want it any other way. That's about it for what I had to say. Goodbye.
Gamer.